Hello everyone, welcome to the module on developing new products. I am Dr. Akash Kamble, and in this session we'll explore how companies create and introduce new products to the market. These concepts are foundational to marketing strategy and critical for any business seeking to remain competitive in today's rapidly changing marketplace. In today's session, we have two key learning objectives. First, we will explore how companies find and develop new product ideas. Where do these innovations come from? Second, we will examine the structured process of new product development from initial idea to the market launch. Let's dive in. Our first objective is to understand how companies find and develop new product ideas. In today's competitive marketplace, innovations isn't a luxury, it is a necessity. As we'll see, companies have various methods for generating potentially successful new product concepts. Companies can obtain new products in one of the two ways. The first is through acquisition, buying a whole company, a patent, or a license to produce someone else's product. Google provides an excellent example of this approach. They acquired Nest Labs to enter the smart home market and brought ways to enhance their mobile navigation offering. The second approach is new product development, creating original products, improvements, and modifications, or even new brands through the firm's own research and development efforts. Google's portfolio includes many internally developed products like Gmail, Google Maps, and Google Drive. Even Apple's tremendously successful iPhone and iPad products, which now account for over 60% of the company's total global revenue, were developed internally rather than acquired. Both approaches have their place in a comprehensive growth strategy, but our focus today will be on internal new product development. It is important to recognize that new product development is inherently risky. For every success story, there are many failures, even for technology giants with seemingly unlimited resources. Microsoft's Zune music player provides a classic example of new product failure. Launched in 2006 as a competitor to Apple's dominant iPod, the Zune had many impressive features: a simple interface, a music subscription service, and wireless sharing capabilities. Microsoft invested heavily in the product's development and marketing, expecting to capture a significant market share. Yet, by 2011, Microsoft had discontinued the Zune line entirely after failing to make a meaningful impact in the portable music player market. You may ask what went wrong. First, Microsoft was late to the market. The iPod had already established itself as a dominant player with 70% market share when Zune arrived. Second, Microsoft failed to offer a compelling differentiation. There wasn't a clear reason for consumers to switch from their iPods. Third, the ecosystem was limited compared to Apple's iTunes, with fewer songs and less intuitive experience. Finally, the marketing message wasn't clear about why consumers should choose Zune over iPod. The Zune failure teaches us that even a well resourced company can stumble when they don't properly execute the new product development process, which we are going to discuss today. Success requires more than just resources. It demands proper timing, differentiation, and consumer centered design. New products face tough odds, with some estimates suggesting 95% of new products fail. This makes a disciplined approach to new product development all the more crucial. Let's move on to our second objective. Here, we will understand the steps in the new product development process and also major considerations to manage it. New product development starts with a systematic idea generation, followed by a series of stages that progressively refine promising concepts into market ready products. This funnel like approach starts wide with many ideas, then gradually narrows down as weaker concepts are eliminated. Looking at this process illustrated in the slide, note that it begins with idea generation, where companies actively seek out new product ideas. Google provides an excellent example of this approach with its Area 120 in-house innovation incubator. This program allows Google employees to submit ideas for new products and, if selected, devote 100% of their time in developing these concepts. Google's innovation machine is renowned for producing new products, moonshots, futuristic, breathtakingly idealistic concepts that, if successful, could profoundly change how people live. The remaining steps in the process work to reduce the number of ideas and develop the best ones into profitable products. Of the more than 1,000 product ideas pitched to Google's Area 120, only 50 have been accepted and moved forward. This is typical for new product development. Many ideas at the start, few survivors at the end. The goal is to hatch new products that might become the next Google. Idea generation is a systematic search for new product ideas. Companies draw both from internal and external sources to find innovative concepts. Internal sources include the company's own research and development team, staff contributions, and entrepreneurial programs that encourage employees to develop new product ideas. For example, the Lego Ideas website shown on this slide invites customers to submit and vote on new product ideas. So far, Lego Ideas has resulted in 12 new products that went from fan concepts to store shelves. External sources include customer insights, competitor offerings, distributors, suppliers, and outside design firms. Modern approaches often combine these through crowdsourcing, where companies invite broad communities, customers, employees, scientists, and even the general public to participate in innovation. Technology also drives idea generation, as seen with Delfast, a parcel delivery service in Ukraine. When motorcycles proved too expensive and traditional bicycles too demanding for couriers, Delfast used Autodesk software to design an innovative electric bicycle. The results were so successful that Delfast pivoted from delivery service to manufacturing electric bicycles, showing that how an idea generation can uncover entirely new business opportunities. Crowdsourcing involves inviting broad communities to contribute to the innovation process. This is a powerful approach because it taps into the diverse perspectives and expertise that might not exist within the company. Under Armour, for example, sponsors an annual crowdsourcing competition called the Future Show Innovation Challenge. In this Shark Tank like reality TV setting, outside innovators pitch their ideas directly to the company executive. As Under Armour's innovation chief notes, we need to be humble enough to know that the next great thing might come from some kid playing college football who happens to have a better idea. Similarly, food container giant Tupperware has sponsored the Clever Container Challenge, seeking ideas for integrating Internet of Things technologies into food containers for future smart kitchens. And Ben & Jerry's ran Do the World of Flavor campaign, where fans created and named ice cream flavors through an online video game. After generating numerous ideas, companies need to identify the promising ones and drop the poor ones. This is idea screening, a critical step that prevents wasting resources on concepts that won't succeed in the market. Many companies apply the RWW screening framework, which asks three fundamental questions. Is it real? Is there a genuine market need and customer desire? And the third one, can we win? Do we have the competitive advantage and resources to succeed? Lastly, is it worth doing? Does it fit our growth strategy and offer sufficient profit potential? Only ideas that receive a yes to all three questions move forward. This disciplined approach helps focus development resources on concepts with the highest potential for success. At this stage, promising ideas are developed into detailed product concepts. It is important to distinguish between a product idea, which is a possible product the company might offer, a product concept, a detailed version expressed in meaningful consumer terms, and a product image, how consumers perceive an actual or potential product. Let's take the example. Honda's concept development for its Honda Jet Elite business jet might have explored various concepts, serving the traditional corporate executive market, targeting multinational corporations with longer range jets, catering to wealthy individuals who distrust commercial air travel, or designing for the growing air taxi market with a no frill efficient aircraft. Concept testing involves presenting these product concepts to target consumers to determine their appeal. For the Honda Jet example, the company might test a concept described as an efficient yet luxurious travel option for the family. Get to where you want to go on your own time, on your own terms. Avoid airport lines and congestion. Breathe your own sanitized air. Another example, which is Tesla. Its initial all electric sedan concept, shown in the slide, underwent extensive concept testing. The concept promised that more affordable models would travel over 300 miles on a single charge, recharge in 45 minutes from a normal outlet, and cost about a penny per mile to power. By testing such concepts with target consumers, companies can refine their ideas before investing into costly development. Here we see how Tata Motors developed concept cars before finalizing their production vehicles. The clay models and prototypes help designers and engineers visualize the final product and make necessary adjustments before committing to full-scale production. For concepts that test well with consumers, the next step is developing an initial marketing strategy. This critical stage transforms the product concept into a comprehensive business approach. The marketing strategy statement consists of three distinct parts, each addressing different time frames and level of detail. First, the strategy describes the target market, the planned value proposition, and the sales, market share, and profit goals for its first few years. Let's continue with our Honda Jet example and see what this might look like. The target market includes very high income individuals, couples, or families seeking efficient, quick, and luxurious transportation. We are talking about customers with a net worth exceeding $25 million or regular annual incomes of more than $5 million. Honda Jet Family V would be positioned as providing efficient, flexible, time-saving, and luxurious transportation on demand. It helps owners avoid the crowds, packed setting, and unhealthy air associated with commercial airline travel. Sales goals might be to sell 20 aircraft in the first year, operating at a loss of not more than $5 million, and then 50 aircrafts in the second year with a profit of $35 million. The second part outlines the product's planned price, distribution, and marketing budget for the first year. For Honda Jet, this would include pricing strategy and options. Customers might choose between a regular range version offering 1437 nautical miles at a list price of $6 million and a long range version adding another 500 miles of range at 6.5 million. Distribution decisions are also specified. Honda Jet would sell directly to the target consumers through a sales force paid by salary plus commission. The marketing budget would allocate funds specifically, perhaps around $2 million to high-end luxury magazines, another $3 million split between national media, online and social media marketing, and local event marketing. Additional funds would be allocated for building a customer prospect database and conducting market research. The third part of marketing strategy statement describes planned long-run sales, profit goals, and marketing mix strategy. For our Honda Jet example, they might aim to capture a 60% long-run share of global personal jet market and achieve an after-tax return on investment of 20%. To accomplish this, the quality would start high and improve over time, while prices might increase in subsequent years if competition and economic conditions permit. The marketing budget would grow annually by a set percentage with adjustment to specific allocations based on first-year performance. This comprehensive three-part strategy gives management a complete roadmap for taking the product from concept to market success with appropriate goals and tactics for each stage of the journey. Business analysis involves reviewing sales, cost, and profit projections to determine if they satisfy company objectives. This step helps management decide whether a product concept justifies moving to actual development. The company estimates sales by looking at similar product in history and conducting market surveys. It then estimates cost across various categories like manufacturing, marketing, R&D, and other overheads. These sales and cost figures help analyze the new product's financial viability. Let's consider our Honda Jet example. After analyzing the marketplace and internal capabilities, the company might project initial losses in year 1 as they establish the product, followed by profitability in year 2 once production scales up and the market responds. With these projections, they would calculate several key financial metrics. Return on investment. How much profit will the company make compared to its investment? For a luxury product like Honda Jet, they need a substantial ROI to justify the significant upfront cost. Payback period. How long will it take to recover the initial investment? For high risk products, companies typically want shorter payback periods, perhaps 2 to 3 years for a major new aircraft. And lastly, break even point. How many units must be sold before the company product becomes profitable? Understanding this threshold helps set realistic sales targets and assess market potential. This analysis gives executives a clearer picture of the financial risks and opportunities, helping them decide whether to advance the product to the development stage or redirect resources elsewhere. Product development takes a promising concept and transforms it into a physical product or a detailed service blueprint. This stage involves significant investment jumps as companies create and test prototypes to ensure the concept is workable. Companies like Carhartt, shown in the slide, actively involve customers in product development and testing. Carhartt has created the Groundbreakers program, enlisting an army of volunteers who participate in live chats with designers, review product concepts, and field test products they helped create. This ensures products have the required functional features and convey the intended psychological characteristics. Test marketing involves trying the new product and its marketing program in realistic market settings. This step helps refine the product and marketing approach or sometimes lead to the difficult decision to drop the product entirely. The amount of test marketing varies by product. When the required investments or risks are high, companies conduct extensive tests. McDonald's, for instance, spent over 3 years test marketing its plant-based McPlant burger, first in Canadian restaurants and then in 8 US locations before expanding to 600 test restaurants. However, in fast-changing markets, companies may shorten or skip testing. Starbucks, shown here, quickly introduced its mobile payment app and refined it during the months after launch rather than delaying the market entry. The app now accounts for over 26% of all Starbucks US revenues. As their chief digital officer noted, we are willing to innovate and have speed to market trump a 100% guarantee that it will be perfect. Commercialization is the full market introduction of the new product. This stage involves high costs for manufacturing facilities, advertising, promotion, and other marketing efforts. For major consumer products, companies might spend hundreds of millions on initial marketing. For example, Sony spent an estimate $26 million in a single month on TV advertising to introduce their PlayStation 5 gaming system. Management must make several critical decisions at this stage. When to launch, considering the product readiness, economic conditions, and competitive activity. Where to launch, whether it's a single location, region, national market, or international, and how to roll out the product to this market. Successful new product development requires a holistic approach with three essential characteristics. It must be consumer centric, focusing on solving customer problems and creating satisfying experiences. It should be team based, involving cross functional collaboration. It needs to be systematic rather than haphazard. Without these elements, new product development can easily fail, wasting resources and missing the market opportunities. Customer centered new product development focuses on finding new ways to solve customer problems and create more satisfying experiences. Simply stated, it begins and ends with understanding customer needs. Financial software maker Intuit, shown here, follows a design for delight philosophy that says products should provide experiences that exceed customer expectations. This approach has helped Intuit products like QuickBooks, TurboTax, and Mint dominate their respective markets. For example, QuickBooks captures an 80% market share in small business accounting software, while TurboTax prepares almost twice as many US tax returns as H&R Block software and service. Rather than relying on sorry Rather than relying solely on technical research, innovative companies like A6 connect directly with customers. A6 conduct studies to learn how customers browse their website and what they look for, then develop shopping tools like their shoe finder to personalize their experience and provide data driven recommendations. Team based new product development involves various company departments working closely together, overlapping steps in the development process to save time and increase effectiveness. In traditional sequential development, one department completes its work before passing the project to the next department. This provides control but can be dangerously slow in competitive marketplaces. Team based approaches assemble cross functional teams with representatives from marketing, finance, design, manufacturing, and legal departments, sometimes even including supplier and customer representatives. While this approach may create organizational tension, the reward of faster and more flexible development often outweighs the risks, especially in rapidly changing industries with shortening product life cycles. Systematic new product development creates an innovation management system to collect, review, and evaluate and manage new product ideas. This approach yields two favorable outcomes. First, it creates an innovation oriented company culture where management visibly supports and rewards innovation. Second, it produces a larger pool of ideas, increasing the chances of finding breakthrough concepts. In turbulent economic times, companies may be tempted to reduce new product development spending. However, this can leave them less competitive when conditions improve. Visionary companies maintain or even increase innovation investments during downturns, positioning themselves for future growth. This concludes our session on developing new products. We have explored the systematic process that takes ideas from initial conception through screening, development, testing, and eventually to market launch. We have also examined the three critical approaches to successful new product development: customer centered, team based, and systematic. Remember that innovation is the lifeblood of successful companies. But success doesn't come by accident. It requires a disciplined approach that balances creativity with rigorous analysis. When done well, new product development creates tremendous value for both customers and the company. Thank you.